welcome back. Today I have a fun 12 by 12 layout that I'm going to create, and I'm going to be using a couple of items by Scraps and Inks. This is a company that is so much fun because they are magically mouse Disney inspired, and so they have so many different fun dies, stamps. They have lots of fun let me bring them out, bits and pieces here. These are the sparkle gems. They also carry lots of different colors in them too. They carry patches and pixie dust, which is sequence mix, and it is so much fun. But I'm on their design team, and every month we have a different challenge, and the challenge for me for this month, for this project at least, is to use a die in a very unique way. Now, this is some of what I'm going to use. I still haven't picked out what I'm using from here and from here. Sorry, from here. But let's get started. I'm using the mouse frames, mini icons, this tree of life, the lightsaber, peppermint mouse, park tag, mouse mood, and snowflake border. Now, which one of these am I going to use in a unique way? Well, let me show you my picture, and let me show it to you on a blank paper so that you can better see it. Okay, this is my photo, and it is inspired by, you know, going to the park, to Disneyland Park specifically, and going to see, you know, it's nighttime, you're going back to your hotel, to wherever you're going, and you're walking back down Main Street towards the entrance exit. And that's why this picture, it was from an Instagram post a while ago, and it says "Good night Disneyland." But the thing that inspired me here is not only it being Christmas and all the fun, but this right here, this garland, the beautiful lighting that they use, and the fact that you're finishing your night, you just finished the Christmas fireworks, and you're going back home. That feeling is a feeling that every Disney goer feels, is like the end of the night. And as much as it is beautiful for me, however, I get so sad because I know I'm leaving. And if it's my final day, I get even more sad. So this picture is kind of, it gives me the feels, and it was my last day, and it was the sad feelings. So I wanted to showcase this. However, how am I going to do that? And the challenge being to use a die in an interesting way. So I gathered my dies, and this is what I'm going to use. Now, I looked at it and I was like, okay, it's a tree. But if I turn it upside down and I cut off the trunk, I come up with kind of a garland. Wait, so if I don't have a wreath or a garland and I have this in my stash, I feel like it would work really well, and I wanted to do that. So I've gone ahead and done some cutting already, so I'm going to move this to the side. And I'm going to show you what I did before I get into creating the page. I have the trees. I have two trees right here because I want them to do the light and the dark color contrasting. I'm also pulling, I like to reuse my dots, my pop-up stuff, and this is what I'm going to be cutting. I'm going to cut the trunk, and I want them to be the same, so I'm going to be putting them together and cutting these little branches off. So I'm going to start holding it like this because I'm going to cut this off. Then I'm going to add in dimension, and I'm going to do that by cutting pieces out and then adding from the light color and adding them to the dark color. And how is that going to turn out? Well, let me show you. This is what it's going to look like. You see that? And it has the foam on the bottom. The foam, so that you can kind of tell what it's going to look like. There you go. See that? So that's what it's going to look like. And I think it's pretty much what I had envisioned it to look like, and this is what it's going to be. So come along with me as I turn this fun tree die into a dangling garland for a Christmas Disney inspired layout. All right, let's go. So I'm going to line these two trees, and I'm going to cut off all the things that are trunk and branches. Now we're left with these. I'm taking the light colored green and cutting smaller pieces, making sure that these smaller pieces do not connect at all. So I want them spaced out. That way it looks like they're bunches front and back. And the darker one is in the back just so it can have contrasting color. Adding foam dots and making sure I use every bit of those pop-up little pieces. I'm adding it to the back of those light green and adding them to the whole garland. That's what we're going to call it now. Tree has become a garland. And that's pretty much it. Now we've got two of these garlands, and I've gone and done some cutting of other ones ahead of time. So this is what I want to do. My thought process is I'm going to add the middle one and add in the two on the sides. I will cut off the excess later. And to join these garlands, I want to focus on a peppermint mouse, but I also want it to be Mickey and Minnie. So on one of them, I'm going to add a bow. I do want to add the look of a garland continuously. So on those ends that I cut off, I'm going to put half of a mouse, if that makes sense. So this peppermint mouse cut in half and adding it to each of the sides. And of course, I need to add in a bow so it looks like it's Mickey, Minnie patterned. And of course, I'm going to cut that bow in half again and add it to one of the corners. Perfect. Now let's add this picture, and I always use runner tape with my AGT gun because if I don't like the placement, it's easier for me to lift it up. Unless I know exactly where I'm putting it, then I'll add in a thicker and stronger tape. Now I'm using this tag, and I'm adding the little brad piece. It's just a circle cut with a hole punch, and then that's what I'm going to do. I traced a manila tag that I had here in my stash. That's all. I want to add in this piece right here, and this thread. This is a thread that comes with the Scraps and Inks ordered, and it's so pretty, and I really like it. And I think it's so festive and perfect for this layout. So going with the theme of using Scraps and Inks products on Etsy, like I said, if I didn't mention it before, all of that will be in the description below, so you can get yours on their Etsy store. Check out their Instagram and Facebook page. So let's add this tag in. Just going to make sure that it's tucked in and under and in the perfect spot that I would like it to go. Great. We'll figure out what we do with that thread later. I have this little extra piece that I had in my stash. You can see there's like a little circle punch. I'm adding just for more patterns, like if we don't need any more patterns. But it's really easy to use up little scraps just like that. I have more branches there on the side, as you could see. I'm using the mouse frames, and I cut them apart so I get these little layers right here, or these little strands, and I'm going to add them to add fun texture and glitter to the garland. And I'm going to glue that on. I'm using hot glue. I also cut it out from foam because if I cut it out from paper, I want it to bend a little bit. And as you can see, the foam is able to bend a little because I want it to be a little under arch. And I'm going to do that for all three of the garlands and just gluing them and adding little ornaments too. So those little circles on my tray are actually bubbles from the cauldron die set, the cauldron shaker set. I've gone and used the little bubbles as ornaments, and I think that's a cute little touch, making sure that you get double use from your dies. I think that's one of my favorite things, is making sure that I think out of the box, think out of the mouse head on this one, and use my dies in a fun way. So that was a challenge for this layout, and I think I did it twice, even 3 times, with the mouse head frames turned into a garland, the tree of life turned into a garland, and the cauldron bubbles turned into ornaments. So now I'm going to add the picture, and then I think I'll start decorating my tag. Yes, I'm using my little presser to make sure that picture is down, and the bottom is felt so it's not messing up the picture or anything. Now there's a little bit of leftover from the garland, and I'm going to add that to the bottom to keep the theme going of the gold. I really like adding touches of gold because it also shows bright colors and light in the picture. Fun lightsaber die, again used in foam, cut out in foam, and I was able to put in the letters into the outline of the word light, cutting off the rest of the saber part. So that's fun. And the stamped word spectacular from the stamp set. And I really like the little Mickey Mouse. He's showing, like, look at all the lights, look at how spectacular they are. The die set that is Mouse Moods, he comes with all these different silhouettes of him, of Mickey, just showing all the moods that he is. And he just seeing the mouse, tell me if I'm wrong, but just seeing the mouse, it makes me smile. He's so cute and loving, and he makes me smile. So of course I added him on that. Getting some more of these little bubbles as ornaments, and I'm trying to figure out where I want them placed. I want some thick, some big, some small, and some medium-sized ones. So that's what I'm adding right here. I think it's going to look really good. I do have extra little ornaments, bubbles if you will say, and I add them to the left side of the picture on the white patterned paper. I feel like all of these papers match because the green, light green on the garland has little specks of white. The main 12 by 12 paper are snowflakes. There's the candy cane almost striped green paper. It matches the garland. The tag is a red, but when you look closely, it looks like a sweater knit. I think that was so cute. Now I'm adding this little ornament or little bubbles as ornaments into a Mickey head shape. And that's the beauty of these simple shapes, is that you can add a little Mickey Mouse on your own, no die, just simple little head. There you go. And the little ear, adorable. I think that's I think I'm going to do that. Just like Disney has a hidden Mickeys in different places on the rides, the parks, I think I should start doing that on my layout. I think it would be fun. But for the most part, my layout is done. I think it looks really good. I think, what else do I add? Maybe I add in some more of these little ornaments on by the word lights. But for the most part, this is done. I'm really glad that I created this. I was so happy when I thought of this garland idea. There's not very many things that I'm like, oh, this was nice. But this one I was so proud. I am going to cut this little thread at the end and glue it on just so that it's not rolling around, because I am going to put it in a sleeve in my scrapbook. So I don't want that moving around too much. Isn't that cute? Thank you for stopping by. Check out those links to the stores. And until next time, bye!